Hello, guys, and welcome back again in New Gen ICU, meaning New Generation ICU.
Hi.
It's been a long time that I pretty much published anything, but we're back, and I'm not alone, as you can see it. Hey, Emanuela,
Yo.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Nice to not only meet you, but also talk to you, you know.
Yeah.
I heard about you, but I've never had the chance to talk to you.
All right.
Yeah, we are like family kind of related. And it's always good to bring up some family members and, chop it up a little bit.
Yep.
So you wanted to ask me something, actually.
Yeah, I was looking at your setup. You guys can't see this, but homie has like Shure mics and Sony cameras. There's a Canon with an insane like lens in the back, and I asked about why his tech was so upscale, and he said, "Well, I have dreams." So I'm curious, what are those dreams?
The dreams are like, oops, I clicked the wrong button, but that's all good. That's all good. The dreams. First of all, I wanted to say something because I'm from a different country. I'm from the Congo, by the way, and over there it's a little hard to have dreams, right? It's you could pray as much as you want, work as hard as you can, but sometimes it's hard to have dreams, because according to the community or the people that we were with, dreams are for dreamers. You know what I mean? It's like if you dream, that means you're a dreamer, and you will never have the chance to actually realize those dreams. Even if the faith is there, even if the work is there, even if God is giving us all the the tools, but people were still stuck somewhere, and we couldn't get over it. Or see ourselves higher than the limits that the society put on us. So that was the first thing that I was dealing with when I was growing up, and I had dreams. I had plans to have to own some clothing line, to do some. I wanted some type of freedom where I could express myself in different kind of ways, and then I ended up doing a little bit of fine arts, and I went to school for it. I graduated in interior design, and by God's grace, I had the chance to come to the U.S. When I got here, it took me a little while to understand what the U.S. was about. The U.S. has its
Tell
good
us
size.
what is it about? Tell us.
The U.S. now, my perspective could change a little bit, but the U.S. at first, when I got here, it was like, oh, this is the land of opportunities, right? It's like, if I have a dream, if I have a desire, if I want to do something, I don't see anything stopping me from doing it. So after a little while, I started to unlock this thing that in my mind, or I started to take away that cloud that I have to actually dream, and not only dream, but to know that I'll be able to realize my dream, especially, reading the Bible, for example. God is saying that I will bless the work of your hand. I mean, and then when you see the creation of of a man, you can clearly see that God is saying, let us create man in our image and our likeness.
Yeah.
So there's something godly in me that I always wanted to experience, because I didn't want to live like the majority of people around me, because the story was the same.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have dreams? Oh, don't worry. I would even say it in my language, osa rêver, right? It's like, it's worse. Like, it's, you are like, you are in the cloud.
Wake up.
Actually, just wake up, because the reality will hit you in the face, and you will wake up like, and then I was like, man, I don't wanna live this, because the Bible's saying something else. I'm living something else.
Yeah.
But I wanna see how, my full potential as a human being. I'm not just someone who's gonna come into this life and then just pass on by just like I never existed before. I wanna leave something behind me. I leave not only a legacy for my family, because my family will know that, oh, actually we had this on the family tree, you will see me, but can I leave something else on this world? Because I don't think we're just here, you just walk this earth and then just vanish, and then we're gonna find ourselves in heaven or hell for certain. Now really looking back on earth is like, oh, I realized I accomplished something, I'm proud of this, all that. So coming here later on, I started to unlocking my brain, renewing my mind, looking at my own life, doing self-reflection, being growing up in my self-awareness, things of that nature. And later on I figured that I had the full potential because I had God on my side.
Yeah.
Like, not only full potential, like I was God, because he said, let's create man in our image and our likeness. I lost that nature, when Adam sinned, but when I got Jesus, I got that nature back.
All right.
So that I had like layers of motivation, of assurance, of I would say confidence on whatever I wanted to do, and associating God with it. That's how I ended up doing what I do. And I'm telling you, this is not even the beginning.
Well,
and
come on,
there's more to come, and I'm not even afraid about it, because I have God on my side, so I know everything is possible. So that's a little bit of my story.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I think growing up in our culture and with the Congolese background, and then a little bit more mixed for me, probably Congolese American-ish, because we moved here and I was like 13, so that's like half of your life in one place, half of it in the other place. And
can you come a little closer to me, so we can stay on the shot? Yeah, thank you.
Hello. I think growing up in our culture, the idea of dreams is really interesting, because you kind of have it's kind of like two bipolar perspectives, especially if you grow up in the church. You're reading all these stories about all of these dreams and these amazing things God can do, and the pastor is screaming on the mic about believing God for it, and then you wake up the next day and they're like, go to school, become a doctor. That's the only way to live. And you're like, wait, but what if I don't? What if God has a different kind of plan for me? And so the idea of dreams, and you touched on something that I think is really interesting, because often we think, or I guess our culture has thought that dreams mean impracticality. Yeah. That someone wanting to do something that hasn't been done before necessarily means that they have not planned things through. So they're just wanting to coast and daydream through life. And a dream properly is probably something that's going to takes time, it takes dedication, it actually takes hard work.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's admirable that you're aware of what those dreams are and willing to work towards them, knowing that there's kind of no limit.
And I'll even add that in my I wouldn't say my culture, I would say more on my countryside, people just want to say things or dream, because I'm not the only one who dreams, but there's many people that dream and they pretty much stuck in their dreams because they're having a hard time separating the delusional side of the dream, which is dreaming of things that you'll never get, or the realistic way, or the realistic side
$2 million
of it.
tomorrow.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And winning the lottery and things of that nature. But I understood quickly that I had to work, because I knew that one side of the dream is there's God, helping you through the process, but there's your side too. And the working part is where many don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
And not only work, but because people tend to think that working means working hard. No, working smart. That means you have your dreams, your priorities are really clear as far as family, career, or anything of that nature. But on the side, you also do something to realize your dream, because you still have to pay the bills, still have to put some food on the table, and you still have to keep the roof over your head. And especially if you have some responsibility, meaning your wife, your kids, and members of your family back home that you have to help every now and then. You have to balance those things. But work is one of the ways that God uses to bless people, because he said in this word that you will eat but the sweat of your forehead. I don't know if that's the literal actually translation. I don't know if
Yeah.
But yeah, that means you have to work. I will bless the work of your hands. There's work in there, right? You have to work. It's good to dream. It's beautiful to have beautiful dreams, big dreams and all of that. But if you don't let God help you in that process by you working, it's just going to be a waste.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. That's how I ended up, and it's hard even to communicate that to others, because we just have different, way of looking at life.
Yeah.
And God is available. God is. I think on my tweet or something, I said that Christian are the least one, or I would say the least one to complain about life, because we have everything on our advantage.
Or you mean like God. We should be the last ones to complain?
Yeah, the last one, the least to complain. You know what I mean? It's like wherever you are, actually, because since you have God, not only you have the blessings already, the grace, you on top of it, there's plenty of wisdom in the Bible that God had put out there for us to not only know but also practice. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much what I mean, that's how I approach life, and then I never stop approaching life like that. And God takes me from blessings to blessings, blessing after blessing. If I tell you the story how I got here, and then to the point I'm right now, it's blessings over blessings. And the way to get to that level is to be grateful for small things, grateful for bigger things. And I mean, complaining, no, I don't advise people to, to always be in a victim mentality or complaining about life and this and that. I could understand for certain people it's really hard, but if you keep your mentality high enough to always be grateful, even for the breath of life, I tell you that your life will change dramatically. That's pretty much what I had.
All right. Okay. Preach, preacher.
No, I'm not preaching.
I mean, you're like, come on, do not grumble. I think that's interesting in two ways. So one is that there is a portion, I think, of dreaming that is necessary, but I think dreams that are practical, and the ones that actually get realized, are ones that are not just a wide dream, but this is just like a massive goal, something that you can see and that you submit or you bring to God and that you then work towards. Definitely. Right? So like not a pie in the sky. Like dreaming that I will be able to fly one day is probably just a dream. I should probably be asleep. As opposed to like, I guess, another kind of like a goal or something I want to achieve that may seem impossible because of circumstances. So I guess the role of work in dreams and the understanding that the work is necessary in order for it to be a valid dream and not just like a daydream.
Fantasy or something.
Like a fantasy. Yeah, that's a really good like dream versus fantasy. But I think another thing though is, so we talk about like you talked about gratitude and people just beginning by being grateful for the small things that they have, right? I wonder what are some of the things that help.
Well, to be grateful?
Yeah.
For me?
Because I'm thinking of the person that's like, well, my parents just passed away and I'm glued to a wheelchair and I don't have, like, life is the worst. And it's been this way since I was born.
Wow.
And now I'm 35, and I just got, my husband just left me, and I just had a miscarriage from the child we waited for 5 years. What does, like, I think the question, so this is a bit of a dramatic example, obviously, although there might be people who go through things that are that tough. I think my question becomes, and now we're leaving like the dreams conversation, but like in grief, what does it look like for us to encourage, to grieve with people who are grieving, while also maintaining or holding on to the faithfulness of God?
I was taught, like, on the first part of what you said, right? The grateful part. Like, it's really hard to be grateful because we always compare ourselves with others. And it's really hard to the point where nowadays, with this social media thing, you could be alive and walking with your 2 legs. You will still complain. Having your 10 fingers, both arms, you will still complain. Even we can take it even further than this, saying that some people, they have a decent life, they have money, they have everything that they needed, but they still complain. I mean, gratefulness, I think I believe it's one of the fruit of the Spirit. Maybe not.
It is
I have
not,
to check it.
but
I would.
it is a command. It is not a fruit of the Spirit, but it is a command.
But I wish it was. I'm telling you.
I mean, he does command us to not, to give thanks in all things.
Yeah, but so it's repeated very often. That means it's a command, meaning it could also, because it's not easy to be grateful. That means somehow the Spirit of the Lord have to, teach you 100%. Or take you there. Yeah. So somehow it should be a fruit of the Spirit. Maybe they forgot to put it there.
Call up Paul real quick. Excuse me. Hey, you forgot one very key fruit of the Spirit.
Sorry, I was just joking.
No,
actually.
It's a good. I know. I think it's a good. I really like that you mentioned that it takes work to be grateful.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times the assumption with comparison and with social media, the assumption is that gratitude is natural and there's just bubbly people that are annoyingly forcing everybody else to be grateful. I would also like to note, though, that being grateful doesn't have to look a particular way. Because if someone is struggling with some really tough things and they're fighting in their hearts to give thanks to God, they don't have to be someone who's just like, woohoo, everything's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? But they could just be like, yeah, things suck, but I'm really grateful that I'm alive.
Yeah.
That's the requirement.
We should all have. Yeah.
Not that you should look, a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, I agree with you 100% because, I mean, you have to be, as long as you're alive, you have to be grateful. Let's start there,
Not everybody agrees.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not grateful, you hate your life and your life is so, horrible, then why don't you do something about it?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the other stuff, meaning to delete yourself or something, but to
how do you
to look at on the other side of the river or like the lights on the little hole. I don't know. Like, you have to find something positive in this whole world for you to, to be at least grateful for. You know what I mean? Because if you got nothing to be grateful for, then it's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's hard, I understand, but how you let's say solution based, right? Let's start with your life, right? The breath of life. It's really expensive to even breathe when you're in the hospital, when they put the stuff on you, and the bills always come high.
They're
right?
so expensive.
Yeah,
oxygen, man.
Yeah, oxygen and all of that really expensive, and you having it for free. You should be grateful. Imagine the bill.
Oh,
that God will send to each and every one of us every time we breathe, every time our heart beats.
Let me hold my breath real
quick.
Quick.
And then see what's gonna happen to you if you hold it for a second. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
no.
we should be grateful for the, for the roof over our heads, for the food, we have many, many, many things to be grateful for. So I will start there. And if you want to take a little further than that, then you will look at your life. You have babies, you got married, you have a faithful husband, you have been saved by grace. You should be grateful for that. You don't deserve what you have right now, actually. We don't deserve nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that we have is given by God. So that's even another reason to be grateful for. Is you just have to look at your life and don't just overlook it. Like you're scamming things. No, just go in deep of your life, your day-to-day basis, the ability to stand, to walk, to talk, to see, to hear, and that's the mentality that you should have.
Yeah.
If you want to be grateful, and you have to have a genuine heart, because you could be grateful or you see things around you, but you're not genuine. I mean, even when you say thank you to God, you say your thanks to God, and you're like, I don't like those things, but I have to say thank you, but thank you, God, for this, but I don't like it. No, have to be grateful and genuine in your heart. So I don't know, maybe
Yeah. No,
you could
I
give
think
a little more.
I mean, so I think there is like the command of it, and then there's the emotions that come with it. And I think if I would add anything to that, it would just be that the beginning of it is a command, right? So then wherever I am, scripture, I'm talking from the vantage point of a Christian, because that's me, instructs us to enter his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. And so for me, as I see it, there's always something to be grateful for. Like you said, right? If I'm breathing, then I'm breathing. If you've ever been sick, then you know how hard it is to do things that we think is like are given. If you have like just the regular things, like just being able to breathe without having to sneeze. If you have bad allergies, spring is out here. If you have bad allergies, then like absolutely. The ability to just breathe and not need a tissue is already like something that I didn't have to pay for, that I didn't need to do anything about. The ability to wake up and not have like hurt my neck and things like that. So there's that kind of stuff. And then like you said, you go deper and you kind of check in with yourself and with your life, and you look at it and you
it's just your life. You don't even have to look outside of yourself to be grateful for. Like you just look at yourself, look at your life. And I mean, some people, they are ungrateful because they've never seen anything else. You know what I mean? You should go to Africa, and then I'm telling you, you will be grateful.
No! Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I mean, someone can drop like the comment on the
maybe
on the
that's
comment
what
section.
it is. Maybe it's like our upbringing. Like you're really aware of what you've come from, and of how much of what you have now is actually a luxury and not a necessity. Like to be able to eat food based on
your own desire,
my preferences, and to be able, like I think to myself, I don't feel like eating blah blah. I feel like eating blah blah. Even if I have one thing in my fridge, I have the freedom to go outside and get something different. That is preposterous. Like in terms of my upbringing, right? Like it's not a thing. And I think just recognizing that a lot of the things we value, a lot of the things we think are necessary or necessities, they're not really. And so I guess having a lot sometimes can blind you to how much actually you've been given. And I think even for us, right, the temptation would be, the more you're given, the more you're just like, your Thanksgiving becomes more shallow. But remembering, even as you dream,
that's true.
That the things that I have are a blessing, not becoming too familiar with the things that are in your own house, right? Like, so we're in your space, so I'll give that example, like the cameras that you have, the dumbbells that you have, the like those things, the equipment, the computer, these mics. Yeah, I think it can be a lot more. It can be simple, but I do recognize though, like if we're human and we're real, there are times when I really just don't feel like talking about Thanksgiving because life is so hard, and I'm like, it's been this hard for so long, and when is it gonna change? And that's when I fall back on just the command to give thanks anyway, and my emotions will follow, but it doesn't always feel like it's not always the thing I want to do. It's not always the thing I feel like doing. But very quickly, I get realigned as I'm obedient. So that's all. That's my spiel on giving thanks and gratitude.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you said it all. I mean, I got nothing to add to it because, I mean, that's my secret. Actually, that's my secret. Just being grateful. And I agree with you. Is like maybe because I know where I came from and living the life that I live right now is like, oh man, I can't even believe I own this and I have this and I could afford this, and knowing where I came from, and you begging for, something
for necessities, not even for like
not even just
luxury, right? You
dust,
needed help.
Nothing. Yeah, you beg for even working for nothing. You know what I mean? You want to work just for the sake of working, but not for you to provide anything for yourself first and then your family. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that could be sometimes God is using his ways to teach us or to...
I guess so, and then bring us out into a world of people that maybe haven't had the same experience.
But then the purpose is for you to learn and to understand where you came from. And
to keep that.
Exactly.
Ooh. So then possibly, like God, and this is like the Travis Green song, God is intentional. So in his wisdom, he orchestrates our lives. And hopefully the circumstances around our upbringings, as tough as they have been, become foundation for a strong faith and reverence. Yeah. And for Thanksgiving always.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, for that, when you accept him as your Lord and Savior, there's many blessings that will come your way. But those blessings need to be on a fertile ground, if I could say, right? A ground that will grow whatever blessing is gonna put in you. So, and one of the things is because gratefulness show humbleness into the one who gave you everything. Right? Because if you're not grateful, that means you're prideful. Maybe. Because you don't deserve it. If you're not grateful, then you what?
Maybe you just think you deserve it.
Yeah, because that's pride.
Thinking you deserve something is pride.
Kinda. I mean, I could be wrong, but as far as like the person that knows where he came from, expecting certain things from life, because nobody owes you an explanation or like understanding in this world. You just there's this level, right? Like the how's it called again? The average people, right? They just do whatever it's necessary for them to do. The other side is those who do what everybody does and they have the extra thing. I don't know if you follow me on that.
Okay, right? So an average person does what everybody else
just
is
work,
doing. And then
provide for his family and everything.
Right.
But the other one provide for the family, go the extra mile.
What's the extra mile?
Following and working on your dreams.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And having that ability to step over, not step over, the words is what? Like go over the average, it's already your gift from God.
Oh, you know what I mean? I see how this is related to gratitude. So the luxury, so the ability to dream is a luxury.
Exactly.
Because you're already busy enough doing the regular things, which is a full-time job, taking care of family, being present in community, making sure that your kids are fed and all that good stuff. So if on top of all of that you have the bandwidth to
Yeah.
think of a dream, and then the grace to be able to work on that dream, that's already
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah.
see. I was
So-
like, where's this going? How is this related to gratitude? Okay, I follow.
I mean,
follow.
if you look at it, everything is related to gratitude.
Well,
you know?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a one story after another, one situation, one instant after another. You will see that God is just all over the place.
Yeah.
Especially in our lives, it's like everywhere, everywhere. Even like in the water you drink, is there.
Yeah.
So you just have to be grateful. But then that mindset, just like I talk about the ground being fruitful, I don't know that word, but fertile, that's the word. So then God will pour all his more blessing on your way, more stuff for you. Not only you understand the principle working, the principle reaping and sowing, the principle of gratitude, ties and everything.
Yeah.
It gives you, it makes you a fertile ground for God to bless.
Something,
because you're gonna be a blessing for others as well.
Yeah. Something I think is a big enemy of gratitude that I am like working on, that I'm constantly like fighting against, essentially, and that I think is really exacerbated by how much access we have to everyone else's life, is comparison.
Yeah.
So you talked about something that helps us be grateful is the ability to look at our own lives and see how far God has brought us. But that's really hard to do if what you're looking at is not your life and how far God has brought you, but how far someone else is in comparison to how far you are. And that becomes blown out of proportion when you have, in the age of social media, where you can see how far God has brought people you know and people you don't know, and the whole world is at your fingertips. And it's like, this person is doing this and that person is doing that, and how come I'm not doing this thing? Never mind that might not even be your calling. Like, someone is going to med school and you're suddenly mad, but you don't even want to be a doctor. Like, just the fact that they've accomplished something of significance becomes a reason for you to pay so much attention to them and not to yourself. And I'm not going to say, this is ironic because this might end up on YouTube. So, like, I don't know, you're on social media. But I think this has become like, it's a bigger issue with social media, but it hasn't always been just social media. I feel like within our culture, like, just I've always wondered why people are so interested in other people's lives. That blows my mind. Like,
people are bored nowadays.
Not just now though. I feel like this has been a thing for a long time. It's like, that's how gossip also happens, right? You're sitting around somewhere and you're talking about someone else, just what are they doing, how they're living their lives, and like so invested that you forget that, and if their lives are doing well, then it becomes like, oh, how come I'm not doing so well? I think comparison is such, like, I don't think this is scripture, but there's that phrase that says comparison is a thief of joy. And this is so true. Like, you could be enjoying the best day ever for you, and it was just like a simple, just you and your wife, and you guys are, just in your dining room, you have an awesome, simple breakfast, a really good conversation, and then like you play a good game and watch a good show, and you've just been chilling at home. But let's say you end up watching, logging on Instagram, and someone else in Dallas went to downtown Dallas and they saw Waterworks and they got their girl this like expensive lunch at this waterfront spot, and you know what I mean, like, and like all of a sudden you're like, oh, like, how come I can't do that for my girl? How come my wife didn't get to see? It's like, like,
no, I see what you mean.
I think
I absolutely understand.
I think I've had to really practice, like you said, counting the things that have been happening in my life, that God is doing in my life, and saying thank you for those things. Like, I live abroad, right?
Yeah, sure. There's one thing just came out in my brain. It's contentment.
Oh, ooh. Well. Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's the answer.
But how do you cultivate that though? Like, because practically, right? Because you are not only on social media, but in real life, you have friends, and if you're walking closely with community, they are in different places in life.
Yeah.
Right? So they're doing things that maybe you want to be doing, or maybe that you don't want to be doing, but they're doing them well.
Yeah.
And you might be in a season of waiting, or you might be in the process of building, you might be doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Because for me, I had to learn, right? Like what it looks like to celebrate others and to be where you are and to note and count the ways that God is active and moving and showing care for you where you are, irrespective of what's happening with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand your question, and I mean, I've been there too. Wow.
So how do you cultivate contentment then? What did you do? Like what helped you?
It's a cocktail of things. It's
okay.
not just. It's
What's the base of the cocktail? What's the cup?
Sure. I won't be able to give you those details because. Yeah, but basically it's it's many things that comes together for you to be able to be content, right? First of all, it's just being grateful. I'll go back to it. And second of all, it will be, I don't know if I would say appreciation or something, but it comes back to
it's still gratitude.
It's still gratitude. So the other one will be contentment. But then there's another side of it. It's gonna be a pure heart or genuine heart, if I could say it like that, because everything boils down to your heart, right? The condition of your heart. It's like when you look at those other people enjoying their life, are you glad
that they're enjoying their
lives and you're not? Or when you look at them, you compare yourself to them with a negative comparison. Like it's like you're looking at them, I should be there. Or instead, God bless you there, stay there. Or I'm even gonna pray for you to keep on growing. And then I don't think we are ready to purify our heart to that level, because that's where Jesus wants us to be. To the point where you're looking at is asking us to love our enemies. That's even harder than ever. Then the quality of your heart will determine the majority of how your life will be conducted, will be. And it's a simple thing. It's just being grateful and being genuine when you're grateful. Like I'm really grateful. Like I look at my life, left, right. I'm like, oh man, wow. And then my heart is pure. When I say thank you to God, I'm like, thank you, because I could have been there. I could have been there and there and there and there and there. Since I'm here, this is where you want me to be. So I'll be grateful for that. And then the genuine heart or the pure heart is just, since you know God, and you know that He's not going to give you anything bad. It's just, it boils down to trust, and then knowing that God is in control. If they have it, God bless them. If I don't have it, God bless me. The day I will have it, I hope someone will say God bless me too. Because I'm not looking at others when they are successful, when they're growing and they're making progress in their lives, as a burden for myself, as a problem, as a challenge, or as a comparison where I have to prove myself also to be on the race or something. You know what I mean? It's like, no, we're not running after anything here. God is under control. God is in control. Sorry, and we trust Him to the point where, even our neighbor. Even if our neighbor is getting everything that he needs, we will still trust in God and know that He's going to take us out. He's going to He's gonna give us what we need. He's gonna, even if you don't have it here, I guarantee you, if you have a pure heart, you're gonna get it in heaven. So nothing is loose. I mean, I don't know if that helped or not, but that's pretty much how I approach it.
I think so. I think I learned something, and I think the importance of a pure heart is probably something I'll take with me and sit with and meditate on, because I think that's so lost on a lot of, particularly for the believer that's watching this and listening. You know, David's prayer, create in me a clean heart. Renew a right spirit within me. That you can, the ability to see something good happening and it not have to have anything to do with you and what you don't have is definitely the work of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not easy to do. It's really, I'm telling you, I mean, even myself, because the thing is, when you look at your friends and stuff, and you, especially the friend that you grew up with and you know their lives, and you're like, nothing's going to come out of this. And then all of a sudden, God blessed. I'm telling you, it's hard. But it's a work that the Holy Spirit does in us. He's just constantly breaking your ego, breaking your this, breaking your that, just to get you to that level where you're like, okay, I'm light. Like I can, I don't have anything. Like when I see my brother getting this or that, I'm like, I'm grateful for him. Not only you grateful for yourself for everything else, but you also grateful for others. So that extends your purity. And it's true. It's just, I mean, I don't know how to explain to you guys, because it's hard to explain actually, because you will see, oh, well, I have this guy that I don't talk to because he did this to me and he did that to me. And then you have this other one, this situation, or someone stole something and he never came back to, it's just constantly you have, things in your heart that makes it really heavy, really heavy to the point where it's hard for you to even forgive and things of that nature. But no, like you have to look at Jesus. Basically, what would Jesus do? He will love or he will hate. If he loves, then since he lives in me, then I have the power to love and to forgive.
I also
others.
don't think Jesus had that much time to be paying attention to everybody else.
Yeah, he was busy. He was busy.
Like he's focused. Okay,
that never
the Lord
stopped him
was
from
focused.
Yeah, that never stopped him from loving even those who persecuted. Yeah,
that is true.
him.
And serving the people who would betray him.
Exactly.
Washing their feet like the day before.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I would advise someone to do. But
that's good.
The Holy Spirit is better. It's way better, in explaining, how you're gonna handle it. But that's just my 2 cents. Hopefully, I helped someone out there. And yeah. Sure. Thank you guys, and please don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share.
Hit the notification bell.
Please do. We are back, and hopefully we'll be more consistent here with the videos. But that was great talking to you. Hopefully we're gonna probably do another one, or maybe we don't know what we're gonna do. But that was a really pleasure talking to you, and I hope that you will come back again.
Yeah. It was fun.
Thank you guys. You got something else to say or to add to
me?
Yeah.
Nope. No, I'm good.
You good?
Have a good one.
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.